This is supposed to give me energy. Instead, it makes me want to sleep. Like last Saturday, I went to a cafe to get some work done. I ordered a coffee, sat down, opened my laptop, and then after just a few sips, I got so tired that I could barely keep my eyes open. So I just packed up and went straight back home. This always happens to me when I have coffee in the afternoon. And if it happens to you too, it might actually be an ADHD thing. So caffeine is a stimulant. For most people, it blocks adenosine, which is the chemical that makes you feel tired. And it increases dopamine and norepinephrine, which help you feel alert and focused. So coffee goes in, you feel awake. That's how it's supposed to work. But ADHD brains are already chronically understimulated. We have a dopamine regulation issue. Our brains either don't produce enough dopamine or reabsorb it too quickly. So we're constantly chasing stimulation just to reach a normal baseline. And many ADHD medications are also stimulants. They help regulate dopamine levels in the parts of the brain responsible for focus and impulse control. Caffeine does something similar, just less effectively, and it's way more unpredictable. So when you have ADHD and you drink coffee, it doesn't wake you up the way it does for neurotypical people. Instead, it quiets some of the noise and chaos in your brain. It brings your dopamine levels closer to a normal baseline. And what happens when your brain finally gets a moment of calm after running in chaos mode? You can actually relax. You can rest. You might even fall asleep. Caffeine isn't making you sleepy, but your brain finally reaches a calm state where you can actually realize how exhausted you really are. A lot of ADHD people are actually running on urgency and stress without realizing it. Because your brain doesn't produce enough dopamine naturally, it looks for other sources. And one of those sources is urgency, stress, and that fight or flight response. So you've been functioning on this low-level panic mode. You don't even notice it anymore because it's just how you always feel. Then you drink coffee and it reduces that stress response slightly. And suddenly you're not running on adrenaline anymore. And without that anxiety keeping you wired, you finally feel how tired you actually are. Another issue is that coffee affects ADHD brains unpredictably. Usually, the chaos in your brain is like a fast, overlapping stream of thoughts. Messy, hard to separate, completely unorganized. But sometimes coffee calms it down and helps you focus. The thoughts racing through your head start to slow down. Other mornings, same coffee, same routine, and it has no effect at all. Like you just drank water. Your brain's still a complete mess. And then there are mornings when coffee actually makes you sleepy and you want to go back to bed. Very inconsistent. And it's because it's affected by so many things, like how much sleep you got, the quality of that sleep, whether you ate and what you actually ate, your stress levels, or what you're trying to focus on. There's no formula for caffeine to work properly with ADHD. That's the tricky part. The timing matters too. For example, afternoon coffee almost always makes me tired. And morning coffee is a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does nothing, and sometimes it makes me sleepy. And the other problem is that ADHD people are chronically sleep deprived. ADHD often comes with delayed sleep phase disorder. Your brain doesn't get tired until late at night. So you're going to bed at 2 a.m. but still waking up at 7 a.m. for work or school. You've been running on not enough sleep for so long that you don't even remember what well-rested feels like. The coffee temporarily reduces your stress response, so your body goes, "Oh, we can relax now. Cool, I'm going to sleep." So what do you actually do with this information? First, you can experiment with timing. Try coffee at different times of day. See when it helps versus when it makes you crash. Then experiment with the amount. Maybe 1 cup is your sweet spot. Maybe half a cup. Maybe 2 cups. There's no standard dose, so. Then pay attention to what you pair it with. Some people find coffee plus food works better than just coffee alone. Or you can consider alternatives. Maybe coffee isn't your thing. Some people do better with tea. Also, fix your sleep if you can. If coffee is making you tired, your body just might be screaming at you that you need rest. And honestly, if coffee makes you sleepy and that's a problem, just don't drink it when you need to be awake. So yeah, if coffee makes you sleepy instead of giving you energy, it might actually be connected to ADHD. Maybe you already have ADHD and finally this makes sense. Or maybe you didn't know and now you're wondering. Either way, now you know you're not the only one with a weird relationship with caffeine. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!